Hi everyone, Daneaya Z. I hope you guys are all well on this beautiful Saturday, June 5th, 2021. As always, thank you for those that took the time to watch my video yesterday and those that liked and commented, and feel free to share. That would be wonderful. I am truly grateful for you guys that allow me to be a part of your day and for you guys to be a part of mine. It touches me a lot. So, real quick, I know it's Saturday. I know I want to get outside and play, but being outside is one of my most favorite things to do, and I want to get out there and do it. So, I'm not going to chat too long today. What I'd like to share is when my mom found out I smoked cigarettes, and then when she found out I smoked weed, because as you know, they weren't the same time. So it was easy for me to hide cigarettes from my mom because my mom smoked, so I didn't have to worry about her smelling them. I didn't have to worry about, coming in and stinking or anything along those lines. My mom probably supported my smoking habit for a while. Thanks, Mom. Sorry. And I would hide out in my room. And there was one time, I think it was my mom's husband's brother who was staying with us. And oh, this is funny. I used to smoke menthol cigarettes. For any of you smokers out there, I don't know if you ever smoked a menthol cigarette, but it's truly like you're inhaling cigarette taste mixed with mint. But I did that because I thought it would hide the smell of the smoke on my breath, right? Like, even though my mom smoked and she couldn't have smelled it on me, I just didn't want to bring any attention to myself. So I would smoke these menthol cigarettes. And I remember once I was hanging out the window of my bedroom, and my mom's husband's brother came in, and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I stuck the cigarette on the windowsill outside, and I turned around and I was talking to him, and little did I know, right? Like, oh my gosh, there's this smoke from the cigarette going up behind me. And I mean, of course he sees it, and that was how I got busted. And, my mom, what did she do? I think she probably took my cigarettes. She didn't make me smoke them until I puked, but I think she took my smokes. And, wasn't allowed to do it and all that kind of thing. But of course, yeah, whatever. So that didn't last long. And I remember I was 15, so I had been smoking for a little over a year. Probably would have been a year and a half, because we went to Maui for Christmas. And it was Christmas Day, and we were all sitting down to dinner. So there was me and my brother and my sister and my mom and her husband. And after dinner, he, took his smokes and he flicked one. He flicked the pack at me, and one came out, right? It's one of those cool movie moments where you flick the pack and the smoke comes out. And he offered it to me, and I was like dumbfounded. And the neat thing was, I looked over at my mom, right? Like, oh my God, is this okay? And she was just as dumbfounded as I was. So I was going to take total advantage of this, because I was tired of sneaking off and hiding and trying to go find a place to smoke and, blah, blah, blah. So I took the cigarette, and from that moment on, I was allowed to smoke cigarettes in front of my family. It was still really weird, but it was like, I felt like it was all cool and I was all grown up, right? And all those things. And yeah, so that was when I was allowed to smoke cigarettes in front of my parents, my mom and my stepdad. Not the same stepdad I talked about yesterday, not that one, different one. My mom was married a few times. So, anyways, now smoking weed. I don't remember the specifics around it, but I remember I was about the same age. I was about 15, and I just remember it was something really similar. I don't remember the details on this. I might have to sit with this and come back to it. But I remember being offered to partake, because my mom's husband smoked weed, and my mom started to smoke weed, and it was weird. He never smoked cigarettes till he met her, and she didn't really, well, if she did smoke weed, I didn't know about it until they got together, and then yeah. So I remember smoking a joint with my mom and her husband, and this man to me was actually the most positive, impactful father figure I had ever had in my life. And, you know, there might be people out there going like, really? Will they let you smoke cigarettes, let you smoke weed in front of your mom? Like, what? But, you know, he accepted, I think it was about that acceptance. He accepted me. And instead of giving me shit and telling me how wrong I was and how stupid I was and all those things, he was just like, all right, well, here, you know, like, I'd rather you be a part of the family than not, right? So I'll always remember that about him. He passed away quite a while ago now. And yeah, so that's when I was allowed to smoke weed. And it was like the worst trip ever, because it was like I was stoned in front of my mom. Ah! Right? It wasn't very much fun. But it did open a doorway for me to have that become normal, just like smoking cigarettes in front of my mom. And, you know, pot was my thing of choice, you know, like I could have taken or left alcohol, but smoking weed, that was my thing. And as I mentioned before, I learned that it wasn't necessarily smoking weed, it was smoking. Because when I quit smoking, I would smoke pot, like I'd sit there and smoke a joint like it was a cigarette. And that was a really interesting awareness, that one was too. But I'll talk about that another day, because I've been on here for 6.5 minutes and it's Saturday and I really don't want to take up a lot of your guys' time. So there you go. That's when smoking became normal for me around my family. Smoking anything, all substances. Please, let's get this discussion going. Comment below, send me a message. Let's talk about this. What was your experience if you were a smoker? Or, you know, if you have a story to share, I would love to hear it. I really, truly would. And for those out there that are ready to set down that part of their story, let me know. I would be truly honored to help you in that process. I really would. I understand they've been there, right? So on that note, have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I have decided that I won't be posting these on Sundays. I don't usually, as a rule, 98% of the time, I don't work on Sundays. I was a server for 20 years and I was really good at what I did. And so I always worked Sundays, especially when I had kids, because they would go to their dad and I would work all weekend long. And I have to say, yeah, I don't work Sundays anymore. So I will see you beautiful beings on Monday morning. Okay? Have a great weekend. Mwah! Love you all.